girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Hard and Hustle Houston, Season 1, Episode 7. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Listen, this episode was kind of light with it. It really was like a filler. And it's things that we've already heard before and before and before in the other episodes, with like a sprinkle of something new. So we'll get into it. When the episode first opens up, we see Latorria. She's going to scout out a venue for her Sweet 16 party for her PR company. It is turning Sweet 16. So of course she's going to bring Chloe, because Chloe is the event planner of all event planners. Okay. So, you know, she's going to be able to help her out. And I thought the venue was really nice. I think that's a venue like near Sugarland. If you're from Houston, I think it's around over there, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. I think I visited that venue before, but I don't know. Anywho, the venue was beautiful, real, you know, high tech and all that jazz. So after they look at the venue, Latorria decides she likes it. They sit down and she's telling us that she started her PR firm in 2011. At 19, she graduated from CAU, Clark, Atlanta. Okay, she was that girl, Yovana Clark, CAU. She graduated from CAU in 2011. Shortly after that, she started Lemon Limelight Media. She's worked with everyone from musicians to athletes, honey, the who's who. Latorria is that PR girl, okay? Don't ever get it twisted. I know that's right, honey. So now that her firm is turning 16, she wants to throw a party, okay? So after she fills us in on that in the confessional, they sit down and Chloe and Latorria are talking. Chloe wants to know how she can help her. She's like, let me know what I need to do in order to help you. So they talk about that for a little bit. They talk about her and Nico next. So, you know, Chloe and Nico sat down. They had that heart-to-heart talk. And she was telling Latorria she found out some things that she didn't even know he was feeling. And he really wants to do music. That's like the one thing that he is really dead set on. But Chloe, girl, not you getting in the confessional talking about, I thought it ended at 18, y'all. My bad. That damn Chloe, it does not end at 18. Girl, you was a whole teacher. You think raising your kids ends at 18? Girl, bye. Goodbye and good night. Chloe was basically telling Latorria, honey, since you are in with the musical talent and whatnot, you know, maybe you can introduce him to a few people. Okay. Help him go up and through there in the music industry. And I feel like that's a great thing. That's the wonderful thing about having successful friends. You can utilize each other's connections. Baby, if you ain't got nothing to offer me except a grass wall, hookah, and brunch, and don't stop, pop that, don't stop, pop that work, you might be my weekend friend because I do like to turn up. But baby, we are going to have something that we can offer each other. That's what friendship is. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. If you need something, girl, I will find a way to put you in contact with the people you need to be in contact with. These are the kinds of rooms that I strive to be in. Okay, I'm just saying. In the next scene, Labrina is at the house with her son and her husband. So she's outside with her husband. Her son walks up and her husband was asking, you know, how's the transition with you staying with your dad? Now, her son basically said, you know, it's really nothing drastic since he is my daddy. You know, it's like nothing big, really. So then her husband starts to talk about how any child, especially a young man, will want to live with their dad. It's just in the DNA. No matter how much the stepdad does for them, it's normal that they would want to be with their biological father, especially at this age. Now, I really appreciated that coming from him. He was doing good until... Now, maybe this is just me. He was doing well until he started guilt tripping him. Now, that was the part that I didn't like. I felt like what he says next was a bit of emotional manipulation. I don't think men realize sometimes what they say and how they say it, you know, but he starts telling him about how he didn't like how he went about living with his dad. And as a stepdad, you know, he was doing what he could. And he started making these investments and putting things to the side for him for college. And then when he went over there to live with his daddy, that had him wonder, well, what am I doing this for? I didn't like that. I did not like that because I'm sure it's already a lot on this young man. It's a lot. He probably is trying to make sure that he doesn't upset anybody, that, he doesn't let anyone down. So for you to make it seem like, well, I'm doing all this for you and I did it all for nothing because now you back over there. That wasn't cool. Like, that's not cool. And it puts unnecessary pressure on him to choose between the two. I don't like that. I don't know. I just didn't like that. I just felt like that was inappropriate. And it made him feel like, dang, now I'm hurting his feelings. Like, I didn't like that at all. So Labrina gets in the confessional and she says, he just really loves my son like his own. And I'm so lucky to have that because a lot of women don't have that. And, my son wanting to split time was really like a slap in his face because he loves my son so much. Girl, what? And see, this is the thing. All of this is about him and none of it is about y'all. Because so saying, it felt like a slap in the face because he loves him so much. That is his dad. And also, it's a blessing to have not only one male figure for your son, but two. He cannot be mad that his father wants to be a father. Now, that's the real flex. Okay? Because a lot of us do not have that option. We ain't got one, let alone two. So although your husband may have felt a way that he wanted to go and live with his dad, that wasn't a slap in the face. That is his dad at the end of the day. So maybe he just felt now is the time that I want to get some wisdom and something imparted in me that comes from my dad. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if he was disrespectful about it, then that's different. He like, you ain't my daddy and all that. No, but the relationship that the two of them have, you can tell that it's something good and it's something special. So I don't know what Labrina's talking about, y'all. Moving forward. I don't think that y'all are quite getting it, but it's okay. So then she was asking her son, like, why did he decide to split time? He said he wasn't happy. And he was getting in trouble and he didn't want to put them through that. He felt like nothing he ever did was good enough. So he just wanted to go. And I know that's got to hurt to feel like you're disappointing your parents. Because, child, I did one thing when I was younger, honey. And I almost fell the hell apart. I'm like, oh, my God, they're so disappointed in me. So I understand. He was trying to spare them because he felt like an emotional burden. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm getting in trouble. They always mad. So maybe I can go live with my daddy and then split the time and then it won't be so bad. And he was even crying and I felt so bad for him because I think he felt like he had to stifle his cry. I feel even worse for this poor baby. Now, he said that he thought his decision was helping his mom and his stepdad by him removing himself. Y'all know why that was so heavy? Because he removed himself in a healthy way by going to live with his father. But there are so many kids who suffer in silence, who think I'm a burden. They're always yelling. I'm always making mistakes. And they remove themselves by deleting themselves from the face of the earth. So the fact that he was saying that, I was like, okay, he needs to talk to somebody. Maybe that's just me. I'm just always overly like, oh my God, let's figure it out. Maybe that's me. But that statement was really heavy to me. He said he thought his decisions was helping people. But Labrina assured him that he's never a burden. They just want him to do what's right, get good grades, and make the right choices. That's it. Now, I did like how her husband got up to hug him because I was waiting for somebody to do it. I'm like, when's somebody going to get up and hug this baby? He crying. He's at an age where he needs a sounding board. Not a dad, not a mom. He needs an unbiased party that's separate from everybody. So me personally, I would get him into therapy so that he can talk these things out because he's at a pivotal age. I think he's like 15 and that's when it gets really tough. And they're also scared because it's like, okay, I'm 15. I got 3 more years until I become an adult. And then I got to do this and I got to start making my own decisions and there are a lot of things that come with that age. So I would try to get him into some therapy, especially since the poor baby didn't even know it was okay to cry. I felt so bad. And then Labrina had a tear in her eye. And I'm just like, oh, Lord, everybody, please stop. Somebody hug the baby. Moving forward. I do want to say, however, I thought the conversation was great. I did. And you know what I love about this show? You know how on most reality shows, each scene is them talking about each other. This show is them talking about what's going on with them. Labrina don't get together and talk about Chloe because Chloe said this about Alaina's husband. Alaina don't get with Latorria and start talking about Manera because Manera said something she didn't like. It seems like they focus on their issues solely. But the show is still a bit disjointed, and I'm going to tell you why. So in the next scene, Latorria, Chloe, and Ro, they go to meet up. So they're like, yeah, all the single ladies, we're meeting up for a little girl talk. Why? Why? I have one question. Why do y'all divide every scene into single and married women? Can't y'all all just hang out together? That's what makes the show feel disjointed. Just everybody get together and hang out when you can. I'm over here with this person today because, we were in the same part of Houston. So we hanging out. I'm only hanging out with her because we're married and we can relate to each other. I'm only hanging out with her because she's single and I can relate to her. I don't know. That's just weird to me. But anywho, Latorria is putting together a little single ladies, lunch. She's there first. She orders a little something for the ladies before they get there. Then Chloe arrived. And Chloe saw that damn hummus. Chloe said, "Oh, y'all love that hummus." Let me tell you something, Chloe. I feel you on that. I can't stand no hummus, baby. I am not a hummus girl either. Do not bring me no hummus. Spinach dip me, okay? Preferably with chips. I don't really like when they do the spinach dip with the pita chips. I mean, I do it, but I really like a tortilla chip. And then bring me some wings, honey. Okay? Ain't nobody got time for the hummus of it all. But like I said, y'all need to stop dividing these scenes up. It's just silly at this point. So they're all sitting there. Chloe wants Latorria to tell Ro about her blind date. She said, he might be nice for somebody else. Girl, I know that's right, because he sure ain't nice for you. Labrina know good and well she wrong as hell for that blind date. Child, I would never talk to her again. Girl, this is what you thought made sense for me? Girl, no ma'am, honey. Just imagine trying to take Banks to her Sweet 16 party that they had on this episode. Oh, child, please. So here's Chloe telling me, you can't just be putting everybody in the friend zone. You got to be open. Don't put everybody in the friend category. Now, she did say she was open. She's just not open to Banks. And I'm trying to figure out why y'all want her to settle for that man and his horse. Why? It seemed like y'all just want her to settle with any old body. Settle down with somebody so you can have sex. Like, what is that? Okay, like, let's be so for real. And Chloe, you stay saying Josh ain't fine. Have you seen Banks? Because, child, you sure would be screaming that from the damn rooftop. So after they get through playing in Latoria's face, Latorria asked Ro about work. And, Ro told her, girl, I quit Victory. Like, for real, for real. I've had several conversations with them about being overworked. And they didn't listen. So I'm going to make some changes for myself. And when I bet on myself, I always win. Girl, I know that's right. Okay. Now, she did say in the confessional that she woke up one day and she just decided she wanted to change life. And after that, she had the best sleep of her life. I said, see, that's how you know your spirit is at peace, because a good sleep going to tell you all you need to know. Like when you're unsettled, you just can't really sleep good. You be like, dang, I quit the job and I don't know if I'm dead. Baby, if you got the best sleep of your life, that means that was the right decision. That was the right choice. Plus, I know you want to spend more time with your daughter, and that's more important than any job or career. So, I'm all for it. So in the middle of them talking, they all get a text message from Labrina. Now, she wants to invite them on a girls' trip, a little getaway to Chapelton Vineyard. It's not too far from Houston, and it's Black owned. I was just like, I want to go. Child, when they was getting the text message, I was like, somebody call me. Honey, I don't drink, but I love the atmosphere of the vineyard. And I love to learn about the different wines, and I like to see how pretty it is, the landscaping. I just like all that. Okay. I love it. So of course they all said yes. Cause who gonna pass up a trip? Girl, yes, we're definitely going. Baby Latorria got so excited about that damn trip. She done bit into a pepper thinking it was a pickle. Ma'am, you didn't look at the color of that thing and realize it was a pepper. Damn near choked to death. I said, these ladies crazy. In the next scene, it's the day of Latoria's party. She has all the girls there with her. They've flown in from different parts of the U.S. They're all there. The color du jour is doing Latoria's makeup. Let me just say this. I don't think y'all understand how cold Alaina is on the beat. Baby, Alaina gonna get that face right. She is so good. It's just something about the way that she does her brush strokes that just make you look flawless. You look like a walking filter. I never got so many compliments as I did when she did my makeup. It just looks so good. She's great at what she does. She really is. Moving forward. In the next scene, it's time for the party to commence, honey. Latorria done made her Sweet 16 entrance in this fly car. She got slabs behind her swinging with 84s poking out. I said, I know that's right, honey. This is giving block party on a Sunday. Baby, this giving block party on a Sunday. Do you hear me? The candy paint, the swangers. It was just everything, okay? It was so H-Town. Now, she comes into the party. Now, I have to say this, Latorria, because, baby, I don't know what's going on. I halfway like the dress. I don't know. It's like the makeup, the hair, stunning. You looked good. I tell that Alaina did your makeup. You looked great. But I didn't like the shoes. And I don't think I liked those feathers around the end of the dress. I didn't like that. But everything else was tea. Everything else looked good. Of course, Chloe brought Nico to the party. And I love that, he still wants to hang out with her. Because they have a relationship that's good. It just needed a little bit of shaping. Baby Latorria had an entrance dress and then a wardrobe change. I said, I know that's right, honey. She had JQ on the ones and twos, poker tables, food. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's mixing and mingling and dancing and whatnot. So then Latorria got up there and she gives this heartfelt speech. Of course, she's going to pay respect to her father. But she was letting them know that after 16 years and after much thought, she will be making her exit from the Houston entertainment scene. And she really wants to focus on more passion projects, focus on her personal goals, including her restaurant, Rain. Now, before she said that, I said, girl, I done completely forgot about Rain. Yeah, you need to focus on Rain. Because I completely forgot that you were even a part. Like, we should have been seeing more of that. So, yeah, she needs to focus on that. So then after her speech, there was a performance. And then Chloe brought her son over to Latorria so she could introduce the two. And so Latorria went to go get Lil Flip. Now who they want? Flip, flip, flip. Game over. Flip, flip, flip. I said, okay, Lil Flip, where the hell you been? Baby, I ain't seen Lil Flip in I don't know how long. Do you hear me? But I was kind of happy that he don't be in the limelight like that, because we see Slim Thug and we see how that turned out. Okay? Sometimes it's best for you to just disappear. They were talking about how Nico wanted to do music and maybe the two of them could link up and see what they could really get into. Now, he was very receptive to helping Nico, and I thought that was great. He got his number, all that. And I hope something comes from it, because, some people just be talking. Yeah, give me your number. We gonna link up. Not a link was had. But I'm hoping that they can get together and make some music. And, it is what it is. Chloe was so proud. Talking about, I'm going to put you in the rooms you need to be in. I was like, I know that's right, mama, honey. You put him in the spaces to network. Okay? You got to feel good about that. So, of course, the party is going on and whatnot. No black function is complete without the swag surf. Baby, when you hear that beat drop, dun, 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 baby, it's time to run to the flow. Okay, us black people love a good wobble, a cha-cha slide, and a swag surf. Those are 3 staples that's going to be at any black function. If you don't know how to do them, you better learn. Baby, you better learn. Now, I don't know if that's just a Houston thing or not, but we going to do those 3 line dances if we don't do nothing else. So now it's time to get the married ladies together. In the next scene, all the married ladies are coming together. Manira, Alaina, and Labrina. Alaina is super happy about the trip because she said it's her first girls trip. I said, girls, say what now? All these dang on friends you got and you have not gone on a girls trip? Yeah, honey, you have outgrown Josh. See, that's why getting married straight out of high school might not be the best course of action. Because you skipped so many experiences. Why have you not gone on a girls trip? Now, sometimes you might be better off, okay? Because the heifers be acting up when they all get together. But I couldn't believe that she had not gone on a girls trip before. Here go Manira talking about, girl, you have not experienced so much. Now, you ain't have to say all that. Well, she ain't experienced so much because her family put the pressure on her to be perfect. Get married, go to college, have the babies, and be successful. That's it. They did not allow her space to have anything just for Alaina. Everything is about somebody else, for somebody else, to impress somebody else. So that's why, child. Moving forward. So they're asking Manira what's going on with her. She told them things are good between Norm and her mom. And Manira, honey, we gonna need a little bit more next season if you come back. Because you talking about Norm and your mama and we ain't seen them since episode 2. Yeah, we gonna need a little bit more. So then Alaina tells them, that she's learning herself. She's very unhappy in her love life. Now, she did say that they were going to couples counseling, which we know, but I'm sure we'll see. But the pace that Josh is moving is too slow and she's not happy. Listen, Alaina, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Please do not spend these years unhappy. If he's not doing what he needs to do to make it work, then it's time to make moves and you need to make yourself happy. Now, I feel like she's finally getting to the point where she's tired. And when we get to the point where we're tired, it's like, you could do whatever. I really don't give a damn. So Labrina wanted to know, well, what if the counseling doesn't work? She said, well, that's my last resort. I've done all I can do. Okay, so if it ain't gonna work, then it just ain't gonna work. In the next scene, it's the day of Josh and Alaina's couples therapy session. So, of course, she arrived first, and then he arrived next. Every time I see him, I think about Chloe saying, Josh is not fine. I cannot get that out of my head, honey. Now, I did notice when he arrived, though, y'all, he did not hug or kiss her. He just shook her hand. I said, oh, honey, already feeling the vibes, honey. The negative energy is in the building. Now, that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note, but I did notice it. I said, not him not hugging or kissing his wife. He just shook her hand. And I think he shook her fingertips, not even her whole hand. I said, oh, he can really piss me off. So he sat on down, and the therapist wanted to know how Josh felt. He's talking about, I'm just trying to lean in to what God has for me. Anyway, he's saying a lot of buzzwords, but he ain't saying nothing. Why are you here today? And how do you feel about being here? He's like, I like to handle things in-house. I'm sure you do. Because you want to cheat and fix it without anybody else knowing. Meanwhile, she's publicly hurting. Y'all always want to fix something in private. Now, if you would have kept your private parts to your damn self, we wouldn't be having to fix nothing in private, public or otherwise. They really pissed me off with that. Child, please. He said he wants to step into a life where she wakes up and sees him as a husband and somebody she feels safe with emotionally. So they got to do something, and this is his something. Yeah, after she twisted your damn arm, you tried to lie your way out of it, talking about, I think I need individual counseling first. Knowing you wasn't going to no individual counseling. I don't know. He just gets on my nerves, child. Alaina says, yeah, well, it's been a lot of trust broken. And based on how I entered the marriage, it was just a lot because he cheated on her during their engagement. Now, see, when he got away with cheating during that damn engagement to you, that set the tone. He saw that he could play and you would stay. Absolutely not. You did not deserve that. In hindsight, is 2020. When you're in the moment, sometimes you can overlook things that you shouldn't. Nobody is perfect. I have made the exact same mistakes. Okay, overlooking some foolishness that I should have been like, hard stop. But I didn't. And I know now, as a 43-year-old woman, that I set the tone for them to play in my damn face. So I think that's what you did. Josh saw what he could get away with. He's like how toddlers try to test their boundaries? You say, don't touch that. That's hot. And they try to touch it anyway to see if they're going to get popped. Like, let me see if she really playing and whatnot. And then they burn their damn hands. That's exactly what Josh is doing in this moment. So now he doesn't want to do the work to correct his wrongs. But side note, and I don't know if nobody else noticed, but y'all know I pay attention to a whole lot of detail. For whatever reason, they pan that camera down to Josh's shoes. And Alaina, I command you to let him go. Girl, he had those big ass laces in them New Balances, and that pissed me clean off. Because how dare he? Baby, how dare he cheat with them big ass laces? And then they wasn't even tied right. I said, what in the kindergarten cop is happening here? Baby, the way them laces, let me tell you something. Anybody that hasn't seen it, go back to that scene and look to when they pan down to Josh's shoes. I said, baby, homie could never play me. Okay? And I mean homie the clown, because them shoes were giving very much clown shoes. Big ass laces, and he got enough nerve to be cheating? Girl, bye. So the therapist wanted to know if Josh feels good about himself as a husband. He said, well, at that point, I didn't feel like I was a husband, and I internally freaked out. Now, this is what I don't get, and I don't understand that. Because why even propose? But you know what? I am convinced that some men do this to keep you there, and then they still do them. You already nervous, so why even do it? Alaina said, yeah, I hear you. And I'm going to let you finish. Okay? But he's leaving out some important details. I know that's right, honey. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Let's get to it. Let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Exactly what did he do that is causing you for 7 weeks to tell us y'all sleep in separate rooms? What did he do? She said, because it's not just years ago that I'm affected by. Some things recently happened. I said, I know that's right, honey. Let's keep it real. Lay it all out there. He trying to act like it was only that one time. He was not expecting for her to say that. Yeah, that's why you wanted to keep it in-house. You been cheating over and over and over again. Allegedly. Okay, I'm just going by the context clues and whatnot. So the therapist said, so what are the things? He gonna say, a lot of things have happened and I messed up. There's not a tear falling. What are a lot of things? What are they? You messed up by doing what? Do you have an outside child? Did you sleep with one of her people? What exactly did you do that are a lot of things that are categorized as you messing up? What did you do? How, Sway? How did you mess up? Let me just say this. I think Josh was hoping that he could brush past it like he did that engagement. And I do not think Alaina will be able to come back from whatever it is that he did. So she might as well go on file. I'm sorry. She might as well go on get it over with because Josh ain't for real. And he ain't doing no changing. He can sit here and talk about I want to be the man that God has for her and all that. I don't want to hear all that. You know exactly what you did when you did it. And now you're getting here trying to be vague, talking about I messed up by doing what? And that was the end of the episode. Listen, next week is the season finale. You know, normally they start the new shows off with only 8 episodes. I don't think that there will be a reunion, but I am hoping that season 2 comes out. I'm really hoping that they get a budget for season 2 because it was really good. And to have it put on a major network, that's major. So to this production company and to the ladies of Heart and Hustle Houston, I hope that you guys get many more seasons to come because you got a lot more story. Okay. But stop dividing up these damn meetups. We don't need single ladies and, married ladies over here. We don't need it. Okay. We don't need it. Y'all comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.